Assalamu alaikum. This is our lecture number 24, and our chapter name is Physical Features of. So you have to open your books, and this is our lecture number 24. Please open your books. All you know that our chapter name is Physical Features of the World, and today we are going to discuss the major causes of ocean current and also the effects of the ocean currents. So basically, we have to know that what is the ocean current. As I told you in my previous lectures that what is the meaning of ocean current, but I want to discuss with you once again, and I want to give you a review of ocean current, that what is the meaning of ocean current. So first of all, open your books. You have pen or pencil with you, so you can underline the important lines which I am going to tell you through my slides, and it is very important topic. So be focused towards your lecture, and let's start. So as I told you that first of all I will give you the review of ocean current, that so it will be, after that it will be easy for you to know the meaning of ocean current, and then it will be easy for you to understand the major ocean currents of the world. So what is the meaning of ocean current, or you can say what is ocean current? As I told you in my previous lectures that the sea and the oceans seems calm and peaceful from far away, but in fact they are always in motion. There are waves, tides which are striking against the shore, the banks of the oceans, and there are great winds blowing there because of this. So because of these great winds which are blowing on the surface of the oceans, making huge waves, and these some of which look like the mountains of water moving on the surface of the deep seas. So the movement of the water in the seas and oceans can be uh, studied as waves, tides, and currents. But you cannot see the movement of the oceans, which is going under the underwater. So that is called the ocean current. The movement which is going to underwater of the sea or the ocean are called the ocean current. So ocean currents are basically like rivers of the water flowing inside the ocean. So you know that once again I want to tell you that when we see an ocean, or when we look at any sea, then we think that it is very calm and quiet, and sometimes there are the waves everywhere. But these tides are looks like very beautiful, and these tides and waves are because of the wind. So when the wind blows, that we can see the, apparently on the oceans or the sea we can see the some tides, but there are also tides and waves under the water, that is called ocean current. In other words, if we want to define the ocean current, so we can say that the ocean currents are like the rivers of water flowing inside the ocean. Yani ocean ओशियन के नीचे भी एक दरिया की तरह का पानी का बहाव होता है जिसे हम ओशियन करंट कहते हैं. This means that if the rest of the ocean is standing still, a narrow strip inside it or a current will still be moving at a great speed like a river. Is it clear? So I repeat once again that this means ocean current means that if the rest of the ocean apparently looks still, but a narrow strip inside it means under the water, or a current like thing will still be moving under the water and at a great speed like a river. सो दिस इज बेसिकली ओशियन करंट. यानी अगर आपको समंदर सामने से काम एंड क्वाइट लग रहा है या उस पर थोड़ी सी कोई टाइड्स या लहरें आपको नजर आ रही हैं तो वो बिकॉज ऑफ दैट वेव्स आर बिकॉज ऑफ द विंड. इज इट क्लियर? सो दैट विंड विच इज ब्लोइंग एट द सरफेस ऑफ द ओशियन और द सी. बट जो ओशियन करंट है बेसिकली दैट इज इनसाइड द सी and it is like a narrow strip or a current where the water flowing in a very speedy, you can say that in a speed, so at a great speed, so like a river. सो ओशियन करंट जो है वो एक ऐसी पानी की स्ट्रिप या करंट है जो पानी के अंदर बहुत तेजी से फ्लो कर रहा होता है, seen like a river. That is why we can say that this is the ocean current, which is not on the surface of the ocean or the sea, but it is the inside of the ocean or the sea. So that is called the ocean current. Now we are going to discuss the major currents of the world. It means major ocean currents of the world. So first of all, we will discuss the major ocean currents of the world, and I'm going to tell you the some major currents, ocean currents of the world. So first of all, we have a look on the ocean current. What are the major ocean currents? As I told you about the ocean currents, and I define the meaning of the ocean current. So now we will discuss the major ocean currents, and ocean currents are not as visible as rivers. Is it clear? As I told you that ocean currents are not as visible as rivers on land. So ocean currents are basically inside the river at a great speed like inside the ocean at a great speed like a river. So therefore experts have different opinions about the names and exact location of many of the ocean currents. So what is the more important is to understand the basic pattern of these currents. So we are going to discuss the basically the main basic pattern of these currents, the location of these currents, and the names of the ocean currents. So as I told you that the experts have different opinions about the names and exact location. There is no exact location of the ocean current, but research is going on, and the different experts have different opinions. So according to these opinions and according to our book, we are going to discuss the specific name of the major ocean currents, and if we will try to look at the exact location of many of the ocean currents. So what is the more important is to understand the basic pattern of these currents. Is it clear? So you have a pencil and pen with you, so you can underline the most important lines, and these lines are very important and it will be helpful I am going to tell you. So first of all, we will see the basic names of the ocean currents and areas of the ocean current where might be possible that where the ocean currents happen inside the sea. So you can, first of all, I want to tell you that, first of all, I want to tell you that you can see a map or globe type thing, and you can see that here is the Pacific Ocean, and these arrows show the basically ocean currents inside the ocean. So you can see that the and these currents are because of the also because of the winds blowing on the surface of the oceans. So you can see the direction of the water through the arrows which is blowing inside the ocean, and it is at a where there is, it will be always at a great speed. So you can understand very easily the directions of the winds and the direction of the ocean currents inside the seas or inside the ocean. Now you can see that the first of all, number one, current of the Pacific Ocean. So we will discuss the current of the Pacific Ocean. It means in the Pacific Ocean there is the major ocean current. So there are two big currents in the Pacific Ocean. So here you can see that there are two big currents. It means in the Pacific Ocean, there are two major currents like the North Pacific Current and the South Pacific Current. So we are going to discuss the North Pacific Current first of all, and then the South Pacific Current after that. So you can see the picture of the ocean currents in the Pacific Ocean. So this is the picture. You can see that all the direction of the water is in the red, with the red arrows, the direction of the water underground under the water. So the direction of this water is the north, from the north side, and then that's why it is called the North Pacific Current. Is it clear? So second one is the South Pacific Current. So there is the ocean current in the shape of the North Pacific Current and the South Pacific Current. So first of all, we will discuss the North Pacific Current. What is the North Pacific Current and where it starts from and where it ends. So this is the picture of the South Pacific Current. You can see the water flowing here inside the Pacific Ocean, and it is flowing from the south. So as I told you that first of all we are going to discuss the Pacific Ocean current. So the Pacific Ocean current there are two types of the currents, the North Pacific current and the South Pacific current. So what is the North Pacific current? It is a warm water current that starts from the western coast of the Mexico and reaches the Philippines. It means it is the warm water. यानी ये गर्म पानी का करंट है और it is a warm water current that starts from the western coast of Mexico. It means it starts from the western coast of Mexico and it ends at the Philippines. So there it divides into several small currents. This is basically the major ocean current of the Pacific Ocean from the north side, and when it ends, so it divided into several small currents. As a result, the climate of those regions never becomes extremely cold. Why the climate of these regions never becomes extremely cold? Because the major ocean current from the north side of the Pacific Ocean, when it starts from the western coast of the Mexico and it ends or it reaches at the Philippines, then there it divides into several small currents. यानी ये बहुत छोटे छोटे से करंट्स में तब्दील हो जाता है, जैसे आप उसको कह लें उसकी ब्रांचेस होती हैं, ये सब करंट्स बन जाते हैं, तो उसकी जो मेजर करंट की पावर है वो खत्म हो जाती है, वो उतनी शिद्दत से नहीं होता. सो देयर इट डिवाइड्स इनटू सेवरल स्मॉल करंट्स. As a result of these several small currents, the climate of those regions never becomes extremely cold. If it remains in the so we can say that if it remains in the shape of the single major current, then the results are different, but or you can say then the results will be different, but it divides into several small currents at the place of Philippines. So as a result, the climate of those regions never becomes extremely cold because of these small ocean currents. The climate of that region never becomes extremely cold. Is it clear? So secondly, it is the if we can we say that the second part of the South Pacific current. So this is the second part of the Pacific Ocean current. So it is also a warm water current. It flows in the southern part of the ocean. So and therefore moves anti-clockwise, not clockwise. It moves anti-clockwise, flowing west. It is joined by the cold Antarctic current. Is it clear? So it is because it is the South Pacific current, so it is also basically it flows in the southern part of the ocean and therefore moves anti-clockwise. Is it clear? And it is also a warm water current and flowing west. It is flowing. It is going to flow from the west and in the west. Sorry, and it is joined by the cold Antarctic current. So at the end, this current will join with the Antarctic current. So as I told you that it flows in the southern part of the ocean and therefore it moves anti-clockwise. So it starts near the western coast of the South America and moves across the ocean until it is dropped in the northern coast of the Australia. So it starts from the America and it's and at the coast of the Australia. Apart from these of this, so it is joined by the Antarctic Ocean. Is it clear? So these are the two basic divisions of the Pacific Ocean current, and you can see that these are the North Pacific current, and these are the second one is the South Pacific current. So second one is the current of the Atlantic Ocean. And the Atlantic Ocean also has two systems of current, the North Equatorial Current and the South Equatorial Current. So the Atlantic Ocean, as I told you, has also these have also it has also two currents, and you can see that these two currents are the North Equatorial Current and the South Equatorial Current. So if you can see there, you can see that on the map you can see that the North Equatorial Current and the Equatorial Current, then the South Equatorial Current. Is it clear? So basically, it is also Atlantic currents of the Atlantic Ocean also divided into two parts. This is the actual map, and you can see that where it starts from, and North Equatorial Current, and then the South Equatorial Current, then the Brazil Current. It is and the shape of the current inside the Atlantic Ocean you can see here. So it has also Atlantic Ocean has also two types of the systems of the ocean current. So first of all, we can see that the North Equatorial Current and then the South Equatorial Current of the Atlantic Ocean. So it is a warm water current moving clockwise. So we can see that the Pacific Ocean current moves anti-clockwise, and it is also a warm water current like the Pacific Ocean, and it is moving clockwise from the coast of the Western Africa and reaching right across the ocean up to the eastern continent, and it turns north and bends backward across the ocean. Here it is called the Gulf Stream. So underlying these lines, it is called the Gulf Stream. So I want to give you some more explanation of this current. So look at your book. If you have your book, so look at your book and underline the most important lines. So the North Equatorial current basically is the warm water current. Underline these lines, and then it moves clockwise, and underline also these lines from the coast of the West America and reaching right, as I told you, across the oceans up to the eastern coast of North America. Is it clear? So underline these lines, and obstructed by the shape of the continent, and it turns north and bends. Bends mean कि ये पहले नॉर्थ की तरफ मुड़ता है, फिर थोड़ा सा इसका झुकाव हो जाता है बैकवर्ड अक्रॉस द ocean. Here it is called the Gulf Stream. What is it called? It is called the Gulf Stream. And the underline these lines, and it is called and this so it is called the Gulf Stream. So these are the basically most important lines of this part of the topic. So underline these lines, and secondly, we are going to discuss the second part of the Atlantic Ocean, the South Equatorial Current. The South Equatorial Current. So it is a warm water current. So it is also a warm water current that flows anti-clockwise. So there is a big difference within the both topics, or you can say within the both systems of the Atlantic Ocean. So, and what is the difference? This is the major difference, that the North Equatorial current is moving clockwise instead of the instead of the South Equatorial current, which is flowing anti-clockwise, because it is in the southern part of the ocean, because it is in the southern part of the ocean. So the current start when the trade winds move some of the water in the Atlantic Ocean near the western coast of Africa, pushing it across the ocean towards Mexico. Is it clear? So these two currents, or these two parts of the Atlantic Ocean current, are different from each other because their rotation or because of their movement. We discussed that the North Equatorial current moves clockwise, and then the South Equatorial current moves anti-clockwise. Is it clear? So look at your book once again, and you can see the B part of the Atlantic Ocean. The South Equatorial current is a warm water current that flows anti-clockwise underlying these lines because it is in the southern part of the ocean. So you have to underline these first three lines, and the current starts when the trade winds move some of the water in the Atlantic Ocean near the western coast of Africa and pushing it across the ocean. जब हवाएं चलती हैं तो वो पूरे ओशियन को पुश करती हैं और अक्रॉस द ओशियन चलती हैं, और वो किस तरफ पुश करती हैं? टुवर्ड्स मैक्सिको, एंड obstructed by the shape of the continent. Half enters the northern hemisphere and there changes its direction from the anti-clockwise to clockwise. So underline these lines. First of all, it moves clockwise, and then because of the pressure of the winds, it moves half in the anti-clockwise to clockwise. So this part of the ocean finally joins the Gulf Stream, and the other part moves, and the Gulf Stream and the other part moves south and flows around the coast of Brazil, as I showed you in the map, and it returns towards Africa. Is it clear? So because of the pressure of the winds, first of all the South Equatorial current moves clockwise, and then after that somewhere it moves anti-clockwise, clockwise to anti-clockwise, and when it happens, when the trade winds move some of the water in the Atlantic Ocean near the western coast of Africa, pushing it across the ocean towards the Mexico. Is it clear? So third one is the South Equatorial, as I told you that the South Equatorial current and third one is the current of the Indian Ocean, the current of the Indian Ocean. So this is the third one current. You can see that it is the third one current, and the Indian Ocean and this is the current of the Indian Ocean. So the Indian Ocean is much smaller in size than the two oceans mentioned above. So it is the Indian Ocean which is much smaller in size than the two ocean currents. Because it is smaller in size than the two above mentioned ocean currents, so however it also have two sets of currents like other two above mentioned ocean currents, and so it has also two sets of currents very similar but smaller to the current of the larger oceans, the North Equatorial Current and the South Equatorial Current. So as I told you that this is the current of Indian Ocean and it is the smaller in size, but it has also two sets of currents very similar to the above mentioned uh, ocean currents, but these two currents are much smaller to the currents of the larger oceans. And what are these two currents? The North Equatorial Current and the South Equatorial Current. You can see the ocean current inside the ocean through the which is mentioned through the red lines. So you can see the map of these two sets of the ocean currents of the Indian Ocean. So first of all, we will discuss the North Equatorial Current of the Indian Ocean. You can see that because it is the smaller ocean current than the above mentioned ocean currents, Pacific Ocean Current and Atlantic Ocean Current. So it is the as compared to these ocean currents, it is a smaller ocean current. So first of all, we are going to discuss the first part, the North Equatorial Current. It is unique because it moves anti-clockwise, while the currents of the other oceans move clockwise. So underline these lines. It is a unique thing that it moves clockwise, while the currents of the other oceans move anti-clockwise in the northern hemisphere. So the special movement of this current is due to the influence of the monsoon wind. So the special movement of this current is, and what is the special movement? It moves anti-clockwise. So this is the special movement of this current is due to the influence of monsoon wind. So second one is the South Equatorial Current. It is also a warm water current and moves anti-clockwise like other currents of the southern hemisphere, and it starts near the western coast of Australia and reaches right across the ocean. So it is also a warm water current and moves anti-clockwise like other ocean currents of the southern hemisphere. So now we are going to discuss the effects of the, these are basically three ocean currents, and all the ocean currents have different are also divided into two parts which we have discussed. Now we are going to discuss the effects of the ocean currents, that ocean currents have great effect, or you can say great impact on the climate and trade of the countries. Obviously weather weather helps the people to move on everywhere or to do their works, and to also weather affects the different activities on of the people or the human beings. So ocean currents have also great impact on the climate and trade of the countries which are listed below. first of all, ocean current affect the temperatures of the coast they pass by. जहाँ जहाँ से ये ocean current गुजरते हैं, वहाँ की जो coastal areas होते हैं, उनके टेम्परेचर का भी को मॉड्यूलेट कर रहे होते हैं, उनके टेम्परेचर को भी फर्क उसमें आ रहा होता है. So these ocean currents are ocean currents affect the temperatures of the coast they pass by. Secondly, mixtures of the cold and warm water produces fog. Is it clear? Because of these ocean currents, mixture of the cold and warm water produces fog. So these are two major effects. First of all, the effects of the temperature of the coast they pass by ocean currents affect the temperatures of the coastal areas. Remember, not the all over the country or area, but the coastal areas के जो temperature है उस पर असरअंदाज होते हैं. Secondly, when the mixture of you know that all the ocean currents are the warm water ocean currents. So when the apparent temperature of water will be cold and internal water temperature of the water will be warm, so this mixture of cold and warm water produces fog. So next one is the ocean current also affect rainfall. Is it clear? These ocean currents also affect the रेनफॉल. बारिशों पर भी बहुत ज़्यादा असरअंदाज होते हैं. जहाँ पर इनका फ्लो तेज़ होता है तो ये मानसून की बारिशों को बहुत ज़्यादा अफेक्ट करते हैं और हैवी रेनफॉल का भी बायस बनते हैं. So next one is ocean currents also, as I told you, also affect the rainfall, and then the ocean currents also, because of the ocean currents, glaciers move in the ocean currents coming from the polar region. It means the glaciers also move in the ocean currents coming from the polar region. यानी जो glacier ओशियन करंट के अंदर आते हैं वो पोलर रीजन की तरफ से आ रही होती हैं. वो ग्लेशियर्स भी बहुत ज़्यादा समटाइम्स खतरनाक हो जाती हैं शिप्स के लिए, बोट्स के लिए जो उसके अंदर फ्लोट कर रही होती हैं, उनके अंदर सेल कर रही होती हैं. तो उन के लिए भी ये ग्लेशियर्स बहुत तेज़ी से मूव करना शुरू कर देते हैं. सो ग्लेशियर्स मूव इन द ओशियन करंट from the coming from the polar region. So these are some of the ocean currents which are affected by the these are the which affect the weather and trade and all over the climate of the different in fact the lives of the different people and countries. As I told you, I want to repeat these ocean currents once again. Ocean currents affect the temperatures of the, first of all, temperature of the coastal areas where they pass by. Then the mixture of the cold and warm water produces fog. Ocean currents also affect rainfall, and the glaciers move in the ocean currents and these glaciers move in the ocean currents coming from the polar region. So this is all about the today's lecture, and this is all about the major ocean currents. As I told you that there are basically three major ocean currents in the world: Pacific Ocean current, and then Atlantic Ocean current, and Indian Ocean current. And the Indian Ocean current is the smaller ocean current, but all three ocean currents are also divided into two parts. And we have discussed these ocean currents. Then we discussed the effects of the ocean current. So underline all these lines will be helpful in your exams. So remember these lines, learn these lines very carefully, and I hope that all the concepts are clear in your mind. Now that's all for today. Take care. Allah Hafiz.